A very good afternoon to all of you. So today we are going to discuss the Fourier transform. The Fourier transform and its convolution, multiplication and its basic properties. So before starting the topic of Fourier transform, we have to understand why we are in need of Fourier transform. Why Fourier transform is required. It is very important. We have to understand this thing. Why Fourier transform is required. So I can straight away say that Fourier transform is required because of the shortcomings of Fourier series. Basically, for continuous signal, yes, and to get its frequency distribution. Suppose that xt is a signal and we have to obtain its frequency distribution. Okay, we have to use this Fourier transform. Okay. Second thing is that the signal, the nature of a signal xt matters a lot. For example, have a look at this, the Fourier series. In Fourier series, you can easily see that the signals are periodic. The Fourier series is easily obtained for periodic signals. The frequency distribution of continuous time periodic signals is very easy. This is what we had obtained. The frequency distribution of in which way the magnitude and the phase spectra will appear of a continuous time periodic signal. That is what is asked. Again, continuous time periodic signals. Now consider the case of signals. For example, like I will love to show an example. Yes, x1t is 1. The signal. X1t is 1. Don't look at these arrows, just have a look at the signal. That is, it varies from minus t1 to t1. So we can straight away say that in this signal, it is not periodic. It is just a signal. So there might be signals which are not periodic. Yes. For example, e to the power 80 or minus 80. These signals are not at all periodic. Now, obtaining Fourier transform of these signals will become a challenge for all of us. Fourier series of these signals is not possible, is not easily possible. You cannot obtain the frequency distribution of these signals. So, what to do now? How to obtain the frequency distribution? So, a tool was devised so that x of j omega, okay, I am again referring x of j omega. A tool was devised, that is x of j omega, to obtain the frequency distribution of a signal x of t, which is continuous, but it can be continuous, it can be discontinuous. Okay. Second thing is that it can be periodic or it can be non-periodic. Yes. If you want to see a periodic signal, you can take the example of a sine wave, sine of omega t. Fourier transform of sine of omega t is also possible. That we all are well versed. I will try to discuss that in the upcoming lecture, how we can obtain the Fourier transform of sine of omega t. Okay. So no need to waste our time on that. I will straight away come to the matter. The integral formula that relates the frequency distribution, that is x of j omega, with x of t is x of j omega equals to integrating x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt from minus infinity to infinity. I think this is clear. This is quite clear. Where minus infinity to infinity is the limit. It's the limit of the function that we have to keep. Okay. Now, after that, this is basically nothing but the Fourier transform of a continuous signal, of a simple time domain signal. Now the inverse of Fourier transform is also possible. We can also obtain the inverse Fourier transform. That is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi. Wait a minute, I will use that cursor. Where is the cursor? Yes, this is the cursor. Now have a look at this. This 1 upon 2 pi. This factor should be very much in the mind. 1 upon 2 pi, integrating it from minus infinity to infinity, x of j omega e to the power j omega t. This is basically how x of t is obtained. Second thing is very important, that e to the power j omega t is in the multiplier in the topmost expression. Have a look at this. The multiplier is e to the power j omega t, whereas here the multiplier is e to the power minus j omega t dt. Clear? I think these two terms are very much clear. This is the Fourier transform pair, and this should be in our mind very clearly. Now the convolution and the multiplication part. For example, yt will be given as, that is the inverse Fourier transform will be given as limit omega tending to 0, obviously 1 to 2 pi, okay, summation it from k equals to minus infinity to infinity. We are not using the integral because we have discretized the entire signal. Or when omega naught is tending to 0, then k omega naught. This k is the discretization factor. So when omega naught is tending to 0, then this will become very small. 2 pi by omega naught will be infinity. Okay. So omegas will be very small. So obviously this will become k omega naught t will become discrete. So it will give you continuous. So it will give you x of j omega, h of j omega. Are you getting it what I am telling you? As omega naught is tending to 0, then obviously 1 upon 2 pi will be there. Okay. We are assuming it that it will be summable. It will be summable. Let's see what it will give. And the summation limit will be from k equals to minus infinity to infinity. I think I am quite clear in this regard. X of j omega, h of j k omega naught, h of j k omega naught, and e to the power j k omega naught t. The minimum gap will be omega naught, the spacing. Now if omega naught is tending to 0, then obviously k omega naught will become omega and omega naught will become d omega. That is, omega naught is very small, so I can say that omega naught is d omega. And also, if omega naught is very small, then the number of k will become infinite. Obviously k is infinite, so the samples will be very much. So this will get transferred from the discretized version to the continuous version. 1 upon 2 pi minus infinity to infinity, x of j omega, h of j omega, e to the power j omega t. Okay. Now we can relate yt to y of j omega by this. So we can identify one more thing, that yt is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi minus infinity to infinity y of j omega e to the power j omega t d omega. Y of j omega is x of j omega, h j omega, and we can replace yt as in the term of convolution like this. So now I will put the value of this yt, okay, in y of j omega, or up in this y of j omega. So y of j omega is nothing but summation integrating it from minus infinity to infinity, y of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, and y of t is nothing but x of tau h of t minus tau. We will perform the integration, and then we will get y of j omega is nothing but h of j omega into h of j omega. Thank you for this lecture. I will see you in the next class.